Okay, hi, hello everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you are doing well. I want to talk about this interesting little phenomenon that is bubbling up online right now. Stereogum and a few other places are posting about it at the moment. Sony has just removed 3 posthumous Michael Jackson songs from streaming services because fans think he didn't sing on them. Yes, if you go onto streaming services right now, I will show you this in a second. I checked it earlier today, and there are in fact 3 tracks missing from the posthumous Michael Jackson album Michael. Those songs are Keep Your Head Up, Breaking News, and Monster, featuring 50 Cent. They are gone off of streaming now. On YouTube, and I imagine on other places on the internet, there are some spots where you can still access the tracks, listen to them for yourself. As it says in the article here, in 2010, the year after Michael Jackson's death, Sony released Michael, the first posthumous collection of Michael Jackson's unreleased songs. That album eventually went platinum, but 3 songs on that album have long been a sore spot for Jackson fans. The story is that people don't believe Michael Jackson really sang on the songs. Breaking News, Keep Your Head Up, and the 50 Cent collaboration Monster. Fans have long believed that the vocals on those songs really come from session singer Jason Malachi, who I guess years ago had made a post claiming that he sung on those tracks, but then that had been, I guess, argued as being fake. Listen, when this record came out, I heard some of it. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't find it as disappointing as I did down the road the record Escape. I thought that was actually a pretty awful posthumous record generally. But, Michael, I thought some pretty classic moments in terms of his vocal performances, like Behind the Mask, stuff like that. There was never a point in my mind where I heard anything on the record and thought oh, this is definitely not Michael. This is definitely fake. What's even weirder is now that the songs are down, we have some very odd rationalizations for that. In a statement to a fan page, a spokesperson for Jackson's estate says, "The removal of these 3 songs has nothing to do with their authenticity." Nothing to do with their authenticity, not even a little bit. The estate and Sony Music believe the continuing conversation about the tracks is distracting the fan community and casual Michael Jackson listeners from focusing their attention where it should be on Michael's legendary and deep music catalog. It's kind of odd because when I go to the YouTube pages where you can still hear these songs, a vast majority of the comments are just really positive, and it's just fans enjoying the tracks. I mean, while I'm sure if you dig deep enough, there are comments and there are discussions going on about the authenticity of the songs. Generally, there isn't a super heated debate that I've been catching in terms of, oh, this is definitely fake, at least directly under the songs. Like when I dug even deeper, of course, I've seen pages on Reddit. Of course, I've seen YouTube videos talking about whether or not it's actually Michael on these tracks. I guess what I'm trying to say here is while there is obviously a conversation about these tracks going on within the fan community, at least from what I've been able to gauge, it's not so intense and it's not so persistent that it would warrant the removal of these tracks, which if it is your goal to sort of prevent people from having these conversations, talk about this, keep them from focusing on this, you're only creating more focus on this by removing the tracks and not allowing the public to have access to them on streaming platforms. You are literally doing what you are attempting to avoid with the removal of these tracks. Now people are focusing on these songs more than ever. And like I said, bam, here you go. Here's the 2010 record, Michael. It used to have 10 tracks on it. Now it just has 7. The 3 that were removed, still found them on YouTube: Monster with 50 Cent, Keep Your Head Up, Breaking News. And I went back and listened to them for myself again to sort of see how valid this worry and this concern is that it's not Michael. And I can't say that I'm not entirely convinced, given Michael's vocal timbre and performance level, because, at this point, his voice had aged a bit in, the mid to late 2000s. I would say Monster with 50 Cent is pretty on point, and I'm not really entirely convinced that Keep Your Head Up isn't Michael either. Breaking News, though, I feel like is a slightly different story. There is something very odd and very off about the vocal performance on this track, to the point where it feels almost like it's a parody, like somebody doing a somewhat off Michael Jackson impersonation, which is kind of awkward because in this song, Michael, we assume, if he is in fact singing on the track, is singing over and over and over in the first person. And as he's referring to himself, he sounds the least like himself. Yeah, again, with Keep Your Head and Monster, I'm not entirely sold, but there is something that that really stinks about the vocal performance on Breaking News that just feels very odd. Now, with that being said, this is also a posthumous album. I mean, there are tons of posthumous albums out there where you're getting less than ideal and less than perfect performances from the artists involved, and the label, producers, whoever's trying to squeeze a buck out of the memory of any given artist is just kind of releasing that shit regardless of the quality, regardless of how it reflects on the artist in question. And knowing that's how consistently the industry kind of works within the posthumous album realm, it does kind of make it difficult to shake how weird the vocal performance on this particular song sounds. There's almost like a forced, whispery gruffness to it that doesn't really feel or sound like Michael. But hey, once again, Michael was a very versatile singer with a lot of sides that we may not have even heard. And this may have been a performance of something that could have been tweaked or changed down the road were Michael around or alive for its release. As of this point, like, the information around all of this is very hearsay. I can't say I'm entirely on the boat with every single track here that is being pointed out as, oh, this is fake, this is not Michael. But there is something about Breaking News that stands out to me as very weird, and on top of it, the label taking down these songs in the way that they did only kind of adds more fuel to the fire of curiosity around these tracks. We don't have like crowds of Michael Jackson fans charging down the street with like signs like, the tracks are fake, the tracks are fake. So it makes me kind of question the answer that they've given here in terms of, oh, it has nothing to do with their authenticity. There's just too much drama over these tracks, so we're taking them down. I don't know. Seems kind of like an odd decision for songs that I imagine as the label, I imagine as the estate, you yourselves would be able to verify whether or not it is or is not Michael. There are also many things about Michael Jackson's history, as you could say, that distract from his legacy and distract from his music. There's quite a few things that distract from his legacy and music, honestly.
Put the fireplace on, give him hot milk, we have a little cookie.
When it comes to things that distract from the legacy and music of Michael Jackson, I feel like these three songs here don't land anywhere in the top 10. As far as the maintenance of Michael Jackson's legacy and catalog go, these tracks are really, truly not a threat. So again, very odd news, very odd choice. Try to listen to these tracks wherever you can, while you can, and see for yourself, if they kind of have a bit of a sour or an off vibe to you. You're the best. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, forever.